speaking of competitive, we are now in losers, semifinals? Yes.
Yeah.
We got PayBack, who I believe made Gamma Bracket the last 2 Loinks they played in over the summer, going up against no Creith, no Bo.
Yeah, I'll believe that. Sure.
Well, I don't know. Did I just say a curse word or something? Let me Google that word real quick. Surname with Scottish Gaelic roots, potentially meaning son of prosperity.
Interesting. I'm guessing it's probably a player they play with frequently.
Yeah, they're not here. I'll take it a step further. I bet you it's a tri-stringer player that they're not playing with as well.
Whoa. So. Throwing out some wild accusations there.
I'm just going off the context clues that I have. Very little context clues. In fact, there's even a tri-stringer with a mark off, a slash across it as their logo, which PayBack doesn't even have a logo. Which would be pretty simple. You could just go with the Pokemon move PayBack, like have a Meowth there, and you're good to go.
It's always interesting to see when teams do decide to have a nice little icon. An adventure to see what pickups will decide to do.
PayBack has been sent down to losers bracket by 3Ls 1 Santa, who is currently waiting very patiently in grand finals. I believe one of their players said they're going to go play Fortnite while they wait. But they've on a 4-match win streak. No Bo is on a 3-match win streak. Both teams have been spending a lot of time in losers bracket. One of them will have their run end right now. If we don't get the awkward delay screen of doom here, as one team has signed up, and we got a brush to go up against. Well, there's a blaster. Is it the splashdown blaster?
It is. That's the custom, and we also have a Rapid Blaster Pro Winter.
Yes, with the soda. We originally thought that was going to be used a lot more, especially with tower control.
I still think we should be seeing it so much more than we do. I think it can up the pace so much for any game, especially for non-zones modes.
Well, people are so afraid to maybe afraid's not the correct word, but they're so hesitant to come off of the pencil with the Snipe Rider, and that provides a lot of turf and a lot of soda that you would need. But here we see it in action alongside the Dread Ringer as we see the opening going into the favor of, well, this is where behind the scenes I should have been looking at the other thing, because now, okay, PayBack is the orange team, no Bo's the teal. That's my bad. That is my bad.
We have new technology, and only one of them lets us see the team names with the color to add insight.
Oh, boy.
New technology is hard for us, commentator. It's a lot of thinking.
So No Bo currently has the lead, and they're going to hold on to that lead here because 2 players just went down for PayBack as we see Paper starting to build up another Dread Ringer.
Yeah. Well, and especially with that Dread Ringer, I don't see much of a downside to the Rapid Blaster Pro because you're really not going to be short on turf ever with a Dread Ringer.
2 more players going down. We see the flank coming around on the backside by PayBack. Nicely done by No Bo to take care of that. And that's going to be key for this stage in particular, is making sure you control the flanks. And, oh my god. Okay, that player was just... patiently waiting for their teammate to jump right in, but not in squid form.
Interesting. And now we're seeing the Rapid Blaster Pro quickly poking them back in tandem with that Wiper there, really kind of forcing people away from the zone, doing a great job separating people from each other, which makes a huge difference during games like this.
All the penalty points are gone. No Bo's looking pretty solid here. Coming off... Now, keep in mind, they just came off a best of 3 that went the full distance, and PayBack's been playing in a lot of those as well. So they've been playing a lot of loser matches, loser bracket games up to this point. But now it's up to PayBack to see if they can do... Booyah Bomb kind of thrown at the awkward spot. That's not going to catch all the zone.
Yeah, and Splashdown not quite able to do it there. Definitely a special that has the potential, but if you're in just the wrong spot, it's not going to quite do it. And
that's going to do it.
That will do it.
So, no Creith, no Bo, no problem in game 1. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. PayBack.
Well, it's either Creith or Creith. Surely there's no surprise third option.
Oh, there definitely is, and it's the correct way it needs to be pronounced, whatever it is. But yeah, we're moving on. Now, keep in mind, this is not a best of 5 like you've seen up to this point. Instead, it is a best of 3. And Counterpick's going to go into Payback's favor here. Payback has been on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game win streak that just got snapped right there.
It's a long win streak to have snapped. Kind of hard to bounce back from that mentally.
Now, is this where... I don't think you want to see tower control here, because if they're using the Rapid Pro for splat zones, you would think it would be used with tower control, because as we were kind of alluding to, why is that not used more? It may be, like a year from now, it will be kind of like...
It just takes time.
Like S-Blast. Like, I know S-Blast got a buff, but that thing was still pretty good.
It was broken before, too, probably.
People just kind of realized eventually, oh, this was really good. I mean, Pencil, when that first came out, people thought
it was a joke.
And then, well, that was before Soda got buffed to the point to where it actually countered
and
Respawn
it used
Punisher. Oh my
paint
god.
less and do less damage out of memory. But we're going to Inkblot Tower, because where else would we ever go? There aren't other maps. We'll see it twice in a row again. It's fine.
I do want to point out we did change our map list this month for the first time in a year. We didn't change a lot, but we did do at least... We did some like quality of life stuff. Crab Leg is gone. And I think that's pretty much the main highlight. We just swapped out some other things. But
if we haven't banned Inkblot yet, it can go away. We can take a break.
Well, look, if everyone counterpicks it, I think you could get away with Tower Control Art Academy being in a Splat Zones only tournament with how often it gets counterpicked.
I would not disagree. And I think that we should stop them from being able to play it.
Well, nothing can stop Payback from being able to play it.
That's true.
But again, you're going to run up against the Dread Ringer, possibly. Maybe that was the Splat Zones only thing. But you're going to be going up against that Rapid Blaster Pro, who's going to have a field day here. But you're also probably thinking, okay, our blaster, our custom blaster, might be able to get something done here as well if we can get enough turf on the ground. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what they're trying to come up with.
Definitely could be a big part of it. Having enough turf on the ground really does completely change the state of the game. So it would be interesting to see how that goes for Payback if they manage to lay more down. We've definitely seen lots of times, especially in low inks, where teams don't turf enough and rapidly face the consequences.
So this is a must-win for Payback, not in a metaphorical kind of way, but in a literal kind of way. This is win or go home, at least here on the Tower Control Art Academy. It is Payback's counter pick here. No Creith, no Bow. Gonna be loading up here. They still... Okay, so they dropped the Dread Ringer, but they're still keeping that Rapid Pro. No surprise there. Instead, they're going to be having an Octo Shot that's going to be bringing the Tri-Strikes, the GG special of the game.
Yeah, and always nice to have one. And we do have one on the other side from Payback with that Stampers sticker. Should be interesting to see how they do here. One of the things that might be a big issue for Payback, although it's not looking like it right now, is the lack of range they have. They're drastically shorter range than No Creith, No Bow.
I like the opening by Payback. You saw Snack on the Stamper doing a ledge shark, dropping down, trying not to put too much turf on the ground on that left side. Thank you, Inkfair, for showing us that. And was able to get a nice splat in leaving the Rapid Pro, which should be doing a good job defensively at this checkpoint in particular. But when it's the only weapon alive on the field, it's not really something you want to go up against. Did they clear that checkpoint? I think they didn't. They didn't. Actually, they didn't even come close. Okay.
They did make it there, though, which is a pretty solid push for the first minute of Inkblot TC. Definitely a strong opening to see from them. And we're seeing them not giving up mid even after they lost the push, which is great. They didn't go all down, which makes such a huge difference.
3:45 left to go. Payback down a couple of squids, but Snack trying to hold position along where this first checkpoint is going to be and loses the sword fight to Zoar on a much smaller sword, but a little bit faster as well. As we see No Bows just in a situation where maybe we should start painting up and start building up some things, because somehow they didn't make a push out of that.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty shocking to see. It kind of shows how quickly PayBack was able to get back into mid and is now being very aggressive in no Creith, no bow spawn. The Dapple picking a fight here, but not quite able to find it. But Stack is still in this, gonna hop on the tower, keep dancing around, trying to get some jumps in. Enough to get through the checkpoint, which counts for a lot here.
That is huge. Yo, yeah, I mean, that's almost the whole ball game on this stage in particular. I mean, once both teams clear it, it makes things more interesting, but it's definitely, it's such a key defensive point where, especially when you got that pro, but again, they haven't been in a situation where they being no bow, able to get all their players into the right situation because they're constantly stuck in awkward spots right there. Lucky to get a trade out of that bad jump. But for Bo, they need to start finding ways to start pushing up and activate all of their players. Right now, they're just kind of stuck doing these one-on-ones in mid.
Which, not really what you want to do with these sets of weapons against each other if you're Bo. PayBack definitely has really good 1v1 weapons that have damage numbers that line up super nicely, whereas Bo wants to rely a little bit more on their range and a little bit more on team fights, quite frankly.
Nice splat there by the Vanilla Blaster, Wooini. The famous Wooini, who's drowning in the enemy ink up to this point, trying to throw some hands, see if something will connect. There goes one splat, and they do have Zipcaster ready to go as well. So there's something here for no bow to work with if they can get into the right pieces. But keep in mind, they haven't even cleared this first checkpoint. And I think they kind of moved a little bit too far ahead there, Nox. You saw them trying to go up the zip line, trying to control the bats. They haven't even cleared the first checkpoint yet. Maybe just hold the stats and then move with the tower.
Yeah, I think it's partially that they thought the Octobrush would stay alive a little bit longer with that Zipcaster, and just, they didn't get picked off super quickly in it, even after it got used. And I think that just kind of disrupted the whole plan they had for their push, really interrupting it and letting PayBack kind of just get to continue doing whatever they want, quite frankly.
About a minute 10 left to go here, and hold on, let me switch to a different.
PayBack's
do you have visual?
Happy to be where they're at. I do.
Okay.
PayBack's still doing quite well. The spotter shots, dancing around, managing to just kind of duck and dodge and annoy the other team. Kind of doing what we'd traditionally associate with more of like a Tetra.
Or dodgeball in general.
Yeah.
As yeah, this is looking more and more like a PayBack victory. Now the question is going to be, okay, what is your GG special? It's this Booyah Bomb that you're throwing with 35 seconds remaining. So not really sure about that. So maybe start building up a second one here if you're PayBack. But Bo, maybe now is the time you need to start being aggressive. Yeah, here comes that Zipcaster yet again, but it doesn't accomplish anything other than just a minor distraction. Maybe we'll find a way to get across this tower, but I don't think they have enough resources left to even get to the second checkpoint.
It doesn't seem like it. You never know. Maybe now's when they start winning all their 1v1s. But the Octobrush and the Wiper are right by the tower. They need to stay on it. Wiper's a pretty good weapon to have to do that with, but still not going to be able to. Going to be seeing a game 3 here. Always very exciting, and it'll be Bo's chance to pick the map and mode.
They can't go to splat zones, and no, they cannot go to bluefin zones, much to the dismay of the one person in chat who should be ashamed of themselves for even mentioning such a thing. That's been banned for who knows how long now. Since forever. Since it first came out. Yeah, many years. Many moons has it been banned here. But that's the only allowed in Splatoon 3. That's and you know what? Wait, no, I'm gonna go off tangent from what this match is right here. I'm gonna focus on the match. Although I have a great tangent for later when we got some downtime. Okay, so yes, as far as counter picks is concerned, the only thing Bo cannot do is splat zones. If they want to go to tower control, I don't think you can. Can you on Cindo? You can't pick, like they can't go tower control Art Academy, like they did in Super Jump, right? I don't think you can. I know that it's fine in the low ink rules dot, but I don't know if Cindo Inc. will allow it. Well, yeah, so low ink rules have been trumped by Cindo.Inc.'s rules, which is fine. That works out. Yeah,
Especially we're not. It means we don't have to see Ink tower control twice in a row ever again.
Instead, we're going to see Clam Blitz on Scorch Gorge. I'm assuming we're going to see the Dread Ringer come back out here is why this one was picked.
Yeah, it's also like a pretty good Rapid Blaster Pro map. Should have a lot of great angles here, especially if they're not having to go up against a pencil. They'll kind of have pretty free range to play around these ledges.
And we'll see what kind of comps are coming here, especially with all the brushes they're using as well. Right. The brush, the wiper. We saw the Zipcaster be attempted several times. If any of them just kind of pop off, in all honesty, maybe No Bow wins that game, and maybe we're already done with this match. So maybe they're going to find ways to bring back the Zipcaster here and keep trying it again, see if they could be a little bit more successful with it this time around. It did, if anything, it did a good job of creating a distraction. Yeah. You just want to get a couple of splats on top of it, if not stay alive, to where you can kind of activate your entire push around that special. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of comp they bring out specifically. And I wonder if PayBack's going to switch anything up as well.
I would hope they do on this map, just because it would really help them out a lot to have a little bit more range here, or at least some better subs for slowing down No Bow when they're on their pushes. Because it's going to be hard to defend this with how short range of weapons they were playing.
The final game of this match. Winner gets to move on to a loser's finals. Loser gets to watch the rest of the stream, which should be a fun time for them.
And they can also keep an eye on what's happening with the North American League. Lots of things to keep an eye on today.
No, this is infinitely
you're right.
more interesting.
Absolutely.
Unless it's not. Okay, we got the comps
probably at
here.
Least until a couple hours from now.
No Bow, still not using a bow. Instead, they're going to use the toothbrush with Ninja Squid here. So they're going to have some bubble action to go along with that Dread Ringer that they are bringing back out. The Brown Dapples making a second appearance in a row. I completely forgot the kid of that thing. It's Killer Whale.
Flat Bomb Killer Whale, yeah. It's always an interesting one. Good use of Reef Slider there to really break in. Not going to be able to do much about this Booyah, but really doing a great job of stalling and giving their teammates time to get the clams they need to start making this push, but they might have been a little too slow on it, I say, as I was wrong.
Only one player still up on the stage for PayBack. As best it's going to get popped. It's just a matter of how much damage is going to be done right here. Inkzuka online starting to be fired across, but they No Bow does get below 60 on this opening push. They have an opportunity to get a few more clams, but I'd rather stay alive. I don't want to lose all these players. Only one left alive. Luckily for them, it is their pseudo anchor player in the Rapid Pro who's able to at least slow down the counter push of PayBack, but PayBack will get control mid.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to lose mid, but a push to 44 is definitely how you like to start off a Clam Blitz game. Always something I like to harp on, but it's really good to get below that 60-point mark, and 44 is relatively safe.
Oh boy. An opportunity to get something going there for PayBack, but No Bow, I guess, flanked around to mid. I mean, the Blaster was starting to push up, but all of their friends were already sent back to spawn. Penalty points gone here for No Bow. Two players getting taken care of, but they're able to jump back in rather easily as the Toothbrush able to jump in and get a triple on top of it. It doesn't extend the basket, but they still hold mid and the enemy side of the map. All they got to do is build up more clams, and they'll have another opportunity, possibly get the KO right here. The Toothbrush having a field day.
Yeah, always nice to see the Decapitator coming out, doing what they want to do. Always a very flashy weapon. And we have seen No Bow just not quite being able to capitalize on the opportunities their players are creating. Just the Decapitator left now, having to rush back to spawn, getting picked off by the Killer Whale. This is a huge opportunity for PayBack.
I mean, just the last player left alive, and it's not the pro that time, but I didn't realize they were that weak, that low HP remaining. The Killer Whale able to just kind of send them back there. So that's a massive opportunity. The splashdown opening up the path here, as we do have a little bit of an even number of players alive from both sides. I don't know if this is enough for PayBack to get the lead. In fact, they don't have any clams up to this point. It might be a good opportunity to just kind of back up and hold mid here. Instead, they're being very aggressive.
Yeah, it's a bold choice. It doesn't seem like they've been punished too heavily for it, but it's usually a situation where you'd want to back off, where you'd want to regroup. Seems like the Blaster managed to find a double down there with the help of some teammates, probably. And now we're going to see the Dapple attempt to find a jump in, taking advantage of this Booyah Bomb. The Reef Slider coming out, putting a real big air hole in those plans, and completely shutting down PayBack thanks to that Dreadringer's greatly timed Reef Slider.
A fantastic response by No Bow, who was looking a little scary there. They had two players just instantly get evaporated at the same exact time here, but now PayBack's in a decent situation. They're starting to get controlled mids or inbuilt some specials. They do have enough flams to make a power. There goes the Rapid Pro. Goodbye. That is a Zuka right to the face, and another player going down. PayBack knocking on the door. They're not making this easy for No Bow.
No, but the bubble coming out might help slow them down a bit, but not going to be quite enough to keep them away, especially with the splashdown that came out. The Dapple's just kind of dancing around with the ball, not typically the weapon you want to see with it. And I think it was smart of that splatter shot to jump out, just focusing on staying alive for now. You can find the time to make this push in overtime. It's a hard one, but it's by no means an impossible one. And making sure you have the ability to make the push is more important.
No Bow has another Zipcaster ready to go if they want to get the win here. Oh, but three players instantly going down. They weren't even able to activate their special. So what would have been a great opportunity for No Bow to put the pressure back on PayBack has now opened up the door yet again. But this is where No Bow has arguably been playing their best defensively on the backside here, but it's just two more clams that's going to give the lead to PayBack, and they got it right there. 15 seconds left to go. They're still adding to their lead, but if they be a little bit too greedy right here, it'd be a great opportunity for No Bow to get the lead right back.
And it looks like it might be the case. We've seen them completely clear PayBack out of their spawn. They're going to be looking to move forward on the map. And right now we're seeing PayBack pretty bunched up, which is not what you want to do against a weapon like a Rapid. It'll get you picked off pretty quickly. But great suction bomb there, coming out, cleaning up players, and not much time on the clock. They kind of just need to go now, and I don't know if they have time to get to the basket anymore.
They have a Zipcaster that might be able to bail them out, but yeah, you're right. There are only like a few seconds left. There's not enough time even if you run forward. And somehow PayBack able to work their way back into that game after giving up the huge lead and having issues getting the map control. But actually, that's not even true. I think if you look at time of possession of mid, PayBack had it for such the longest time, but No Bow was doing just a fantastic job of losing a player or two here in mid, but coming back and doing great defensively on their own side of the basket until they were a little aggressive in that neutral state with about a minute left to go, and it just backfired against him. I don't think that's the wrong move. Obviously, they lost, so you can say, yeah, they should have been more defensive in that final minute. But I think the right play was to keep the aggression up, was to put the pressure on PayBack to burn specials defensively. They just lost fights.
They couldn't
all of their players losing fights at the absolute worst time, and it cost them the whole match.
Which is always unfortunate to see, but it's a good learning experience. It's a good VOD review experience, special.
Actually, I take that back. Now looking back at the replay, they didn't. They weren't being aggressive. It was just one player. I think it was the toothbrush moving forward, and maybe nobody else moved with the toothbrush because they got splatted in mid. So maybe they weren't being extra aggressive. Maybe they just weren't on the same page with what they wanted to do.
Definitely something to learn from that one, though, which is always useful to see, especially in a tournament like Low Ink, where a lot of these players played together enough for it to be very worth VOD reviewing and really nitpicking through and figuring out what needed to change to switch that to a win, because it definitely was a winnable game for them.
And now, as we say goodbye to no Creith and no Bow, unfortunately no podium here in this Low Ink, but fourth place isn't nothing to sneeze at. We are now going to be moving on to Losers Final.